Welcome back to a new video. So this is my Friday training session, and I accidentally didn't record the regular snatches I did with 50, but I warmed up here doing some muscle snatches, but I actually did do 50 for a regular set. I just didn't record it for whatever reason, but I actually did it for a couple reps here. Maybe I did a regular snatch here. Oh yeah, I just gaslighted myself. I thought I didn't record it, but I didn't bother looking at the end of the clip. It is what it is. But the session was pretty good. It was a pretty interesting one for myself. Snatches felt pretty decent. I didn't feel like 100% like ready to attack like a PR, anything crazy like that. But I was feeling good, and I felt like I was moving pretty decent. But I got up to 110, and I missed that the first time, which felt like I was being more lazy than anything. I didn't feel like I did anything necessarily terribly wrong. I just wasn't as aggressive pulling underneath as I needed to be. And kind of like there with the 100, you can see it was a little bit out in front, and just that little bit difference with the weight just made a big difference with the 110. But came back and made it, and felt pretty good. Took the jump to 120 again, and I made it on the first attempt, but this is where things kind of got interesting. I kind of turned into like an Ilias snatch session. So I made it here. I wanted to try to do 3 singles like I did last week, but missed here. It wasn't too far off, but just wasn't able to get it back far enough. So I tried it again, was able to make it, was able to stabilize it. It still kind of, drifts to the left side, but that's why we're working on the shoulder always. And then there, missed it, just wasn't fast enough, just like the first miss. And then there, missed it behind. So then I made the executive decision to go down to 110. Wasn't the best rep, but was able to make it. Then went up to 115. Missed it the first time, went back down to 110, and was able to do a better rep, and then went back up to 115, was able to make it twice, and then ended with 120, which was pressed out pretty decently on the left side, but you see there kind of drifting over to the left a little bit, and so I wanted to repeat it to make a better make before I tried 120 again, and that one was a bit better. So I ended up being a lot of snatch attempts and a lot of waves, but ended on this positive note here with the 120. So like I said, it was pressed out, but after all those other attempts and misses, it was nice to end on one of those makes. And it's kind of just a general goal with these Friday sessions. It's not necessarily to push to a maximal weight, even though, 120 in that sense, since I was missing it, was kind of the max for the day, but not like to 125 or 130. But to make 120, to make it for several singles, and to make them as consistently as possible, and that will hopefully allow me to be able to push up more. There you saw I did the clean jerk with straps just to stretch out the shoulders a little bit, and then clean jerks went a lot better this week than they did last week. So you'll see that the just everything about them were just faster and more explosive. I've also realized that my weight is probably closer to 232 than not. I weighed myself again this morning, so the day after the training session I was like 234, 235-ish, kind of in between those with all my clothes on, so probably like 233, maybe even like a little bit below that, depending on how heavy, like sweatpants and stuff are. But I keep seeing people online that can squat very similar numbers or less than what I can do as far as like the back squat, and can do a 170 jerk. So I am fully committed to doing block jerks and stuff on Saturdays, and I'm really just going to hammer it this year. I texted my friend yesterday. I said I'm annoyed. Like, I'm doing a 405 jerk this year. Like, there's no if and buts about it. He suggested steroids, which would certainly net the result of a 405 jerk, but not in a healthy way. And so I don't know if 182 or 3 jerk is possible for me necessarily, but certainly like where I'm at strength wise, I should be able to do like a 175 jerk. I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility. I can clean 176, I can clean 170 on a pretty regular basis, and these are, I was hoping to triple, but you saw how heavy that 225 was there. Did it for 2 singles, and they both moved about the same. And then did some drop sets. I actually did a set of 20 with 120, and here Rick is looking at my feet, not just because he's a creepy old man, not that he is. I think he would chuckle if he heard that, but He said my right foot was in front a little bit, so he was checking to make sure it was symmetrical, which I didn't even notice. But then I drew a line, you'll see, and I was looking to see that, and I definitely noticed a little bit. And so that's something I'll kind of pay attention to, but thankfully I don't think it's extreme in any sense that's like destroying my body or anything. But it's nice to be symmetrical with your feet if you can. And it could just be like my one foot's turned in a little bit more than the other or whatever. But here's a set of 20. On rep about 16, I started coughing and I thought I was going to die. Not really, but like I had a little phlegm, and so I was like, oh gosh, like this is if only doing this high rep set was terrible enough as it is. It's like coughing during it certainly didn't help. But I think that kind of gassed me for the pull, so I ended up missing 300. But you'll see I kind of misloaded a weight too. But back to the jerk thing. I think with my current strength levels, I could do a 175 jerk. I just have to get a lot more volume and practice with it in. And I have the equipment and, the facility essentially to do a lot of that work. So I think that will happen this year. I don't want to put like a specific month or anything like that because I'd be, too aggressive in that regard. But I would say this year, we're going to get up to 170 at least on the jerk and then push beyond that. Hopefully to 175. Hopefully I can jerk from the blocks the same as what I can clean from the floor. I think that's a good goal. So if I can do a 180 clean this year, I'd like to be able to jerk 180 as well. And obviously, increase the snatch as well. But I don't think there's as much of a worry for me, as weird as that may sound, with being able to increase my snatch. Like I just have to get better technique and just get stronger overhead. And yeah, I didn't have the extra blue on that far side, and then this one 300 I just missed, but it's probably because of the misload, but I'm not really sure. It's not that big of a deal. I was pretty gassed after that 120 set, which of all random things, I think that was like the most I've done for a set of 20. I think years and years ago I did like 225 for like 18 or something like that, but of course, sets of 20 are not something I'm not worried about progressing, because it is brutal to do, even if it's just with 70 kilos or something. But I really want to get the jerk to be super high this year. Certainly, above the 166 that it's currently at, which I've did with a clean and jerk. So that's the goal, get to 170, kind of like the next step, and then push beyond that. I think a 175 clean jerk is really possible, which aesthetically will look really cool if I did that in a competition, as far as the 3 reds in the clip. And then for the snatch, like just getting as much as I can. I think getting to a 130 snatch in competition is very possible. And if I somehow did the 175 and the 130, that'd give me the 305 total, which would be really cool. But I think there's certainly more in the snatch, and I just have to keep getting my upper body stronger. But one of the ways I'm going to try to achieve that is just eat lots of food. I'm going to try to get up to 240 and kind of sit there. I'm not really sure how I got down to this weight. I don't think it was just being sick for a couple days, but I'm going to be trying to do it cleanly as well. So it'll be a slow gain, but just trying to eat a lot, a lot of healthy food. So won't be a lot of Papa John's and Taco Bell in my future, although that food is quite delicious. But incoming 4 or 5 jerk this year. I hope that'd be pretty dope, but we'll see. And I don't know, I'm kind of curious. I might do some behind the neck jerks today, see if I can push those up. That might be one of the ways I can get my jerk up as well. But anywho, that's enough rambling. I think I just need to kind of man up and use my blocks at my house and do lots of jerks, and then it will go up. But anywho, that's it for this one. I'll talk to you on the next video. Have a great one. Peace.